Welcome to episode 63, Amplified Recaptioned. It is important that you turn on closed captioning to amplify what you are hearing. You know, if you don't read and listen to my blog at least somewhat sequentially, you really won't get it. With all the diversions and all, my blog will appear to be a crazy mumbled mess to many. Internal joke, which might be about right to go with your crazy mumbled mess of a mind, Paul. Currently, I don't have many subscribers, and since early on, for the most part, I've stopped sending the link to people when I post a new episode. So for the most part, I only have a few viewers for each episode and only one regular commentator. How you doing, you? Recently, however, many months after its publication, my blog episode 26 got a huge bump in viewership for some reason unknown to me. And so did my Sayings 11, which generated a crazy, scary, hate-filled comment that I reported and removed. The hate-filled comment is sort of what's leading me to publish this episode 63, Amplified Recaptioned, an episode to which I might be able to direct some of the haters. In keeping with an underlying feature of my blog, this episode has a title filled with, to put it as simplified as possible, multiple double meanings and plays on words and numbers. Episode 63 is a long way from, but related to, episode 6. And like all of my blog episodes, if you are not reading the captioning, you might be missing a full half of what I'm trying to convey. And what am I trying to convey? Just what I said in the Hello episode. My philosophy of life and why I think we are here. I've touched on the tenets of my philosophy of life many times in many of my blog episodes. And in the past, I've also emphasized that when I say my philosophy of life, there's a big emphasis on the word my. I'm not trying to convert anyone. That's why I try to explain in episodes 4 and 30, by the way, every human has to find their own way. Or they don't. I believe that religion or no religion, you have to live your life in a certain way, a good way, and you have to rely on others to also live theirs similarly. Because doing what I describe as good has to become a collective thing in terms of human nature for humans to have the best chance of surviving the Earth's extinction. In fact, to lay it out as for the layman, there is an underlying theme in my blog episode 2 and then in most of episodes 29 through 37 that a key tenet of my philosophy of life is that this earth we live on cannot depend on a martyr to avoid a fate described in episode 15. It's like everybody has to be good for good to succeed. My proposition is that essentially the whole earth has to be good to enable continued existence long enough for us to find a way to escape to another planet in the galaxy before our sun explodes. That means seeking to eliminate conflict, and it means being able to stop bad people in ways that doesn't violate the tenets of being good. My concept of an earth full of people doing good might seem ridiculous. But if you say it's impossible to achieve, you have to explain why. And the why is human nature and the way humans view and treat each other. So the concept of an earth full of good people is only impossible if you are convinced that humans can't change, or, in other words, can't evolve. To me, it's definitely not impossible. It's just that it might not be achieved by humans on this earth. Inequality and racial strife are two major factors that contribute to conflict on this earth that prevents harmony. It is difficult to ask someone to think about others or the earth's survival when their own survival is threatened. It doesn't have to be a complex survival situation. The last thing on the mind of a starving person, or freezing person for that matter, is any deleterious effect on their locale and fellow humans, or on the earth itself, of, say, cutting down a bunch of trees. But the length of time that the earth lasts is directly proportional to the volume of humans who consciously act in the interest of the earth's survival. Just think about that. There's little doubt that the lifespan of the earth will be shortened unless a very large majority of her inhabitants actively try to help the earth survive. So what I'm saying is that eliminating conflict and getting to the type of earth that I describe as good will prolong the earth's life and thus human life, giving us a better chance of finding a way to escape the earth before it dies. Becoming an earth that reaches that state of being good does not guarantee survival. It only substantially increases the chance of survival when we consider the alternative type of earth. So my philosophy of life is based on a theory as to why I believe we are here. Perhaps we are here to see if we can survive as a species. But if that's not your philosophy of life, that's okay with me. It's okay with me because I can accept that this earth might not survive. But my philosophy of life is such that personally, I cannot just stop doing my part to help preserve the earth and her inhabitants. You know, as I internal joked about in episode 51, my blog is a sort of therapy for me. It's riddled, literally, with silly jokes, as described in episode 12, and with ironies and double entendres that will fly over the head of most internal joke, or through your head if you have been smoking. Look, we all live our lives as we see fit and to the extent we are able to. Based on my philosophy of life, I try to live mine in a way that contributes to the survival of the earth and every single one of her inhabitants. That might require some amount of sacrifice in terms of what I do or don't do, but should not stop me from taking a certain pleasure in my own life to the extent that I can without harming myself or others. Internal joke. Episode 69, here I come. After all, I too am an inhabitant of this earth.